The risk curve represents the basic volatility profile of each asset class. In other words, the average price swings of each investment. Now, when you invest, you're pretty much going for a ride to beat inflation, to grow your wealth, to protect your wealth. So we want to think about the risk curve in terms of taking a ride. High beta, high volatility are wild rides. Wild rides are higher risk with potentially higher rewards. Low beta, low volatility rides are boring. Lower risk, lower reward. Let's go ahead and start with the middle of the curve, stocks. Now, when we talk about stocks, we're talking about the S&P 500 as the benchmark for the rest of the curve. Let's call it a 1. The stock market is like taking a ride in a helicopter. A helicopter can adapt to different situations because they can maneuver, they have optionality and mobility. Now, to the left side of the curve, we have cash. Cash is pretty much like taking a ride sitting on a bench. Benches are safe, but they just don't move. And all the way to the right side of the curve, we have crypto. And crypto is a lot like a rocket ship. It does explode, but when it falls hard. Bond markets are a lot like a tank. They're not very fast, but they do provide armor and protection. Bonds aren't meant to grow your wealth, but they do protect it. Commodities are a lot like a train. They're highly dependent on the economic cycle, just like the train is dependent on the train tracks. Now, you might be wondering about real estate. Real estate's not a liquid asset class, so we're not including it in this course. But to give you a better understanding, it would fit somewhere between stocks and bonds. Remember, the risk curve is about price fluctuations. It helps us to have realistic expectations so you don't freak out or you're not disappointed on the movement of price. If you're looking for more growth, you should expect more price volatility. Don't freak out. And if you want to add protection, don't expect much growth, but more so to balance out your portfolio. Now that you have a basic understanding of the risk curve, let's dive a little deeper. Now, we can actually apply the risk curve to each asset class. Short-term government bonds are going to be lower on the risk curve than long-term government bonds. Corporate bonds are typically somewhere in between. Defensive stocks and value stocks are on the lower end of the risk curve, where growth stocks and cyclical stocks are on the higher end of the risk curve. When it comes to commodities, gold, silver, and agriculture are typically on the low end of the risk curve, where industrial metals like copper, aluminum, zinc are in the middle of the curve. Energy commodities like oil and natural gas are typically on the high end of the curve. Now, cash is always on the low end of the curve because everything's priced in that currency. But if you're comparing one currency to another, currencies with unstable economies can be very volatile. When it comes to crypto, stable coins are at the low end of the curve because they're pretty much like cash. Bitcoin is somewhere in the middle, where alternative coins are always on the high end of the spectrum. We can also think about market cap. Nano caps and micro caps are almost always on the very high end of the spectrum, very risky. Small caps and mid caps are in the middle, and large caps and mega caps are usually on the lower end of the spectrum. The lower the market cap, the more risk for price volatility, and vice versa. Keep in mind, there are exceptions. For example, Tesla is very volatile. It almost moves like a small cap, even though it's a $1 trillion company. Some economic events can lead to bonds fluctuating like high growth stocks. So there are exceptions to the rules, and that's why it's important to stay educated.